So as you guys probably know by now, Krystal and Saagar Enjeti have left the Hills Rising. There was apparently a pretty tumultuous and tense situation going on over there. In the departure, it was all detailed by Kyle Kolinsky. I also did my own summary video on it. There was a lot of conflict going on. They're now starting their own show with the horrible name Breaking Points. That is absolutely terrible. But what I did was a couple weeks ago, I did a video looking at the numbers of the Hills YouTube channel, because the truth is, really, most of the Hills YouTube channel numbers really do, I think, come from the Hills Rising. It was a super popular show on YouTube with hundreds of thousands of views per video. It was a pretty massive show, and the fact that they let Krystal and Saagar leave is actually pretty crazy. And what was shocking to me was they're actually continuing the show just with new hosts. So that tells me they must have a contract where they own the IP rights, the intellectual property rights to that show. So I don't know who actually owns the intellectual property to the show. My presumption would be The Hill. They are now down to 1.22 million subscribers. So that means for the last 30 days, they're minus 80,000, which is a dip of 200%. Their views are also down 35.1%. So they will see some dips in views as those Hill Rising videos simply don't get as many view numbers. And I might do a separate video on this, but the Hills Rising videos get pretty horrible like to dislike ratios now. I'm starting to think that they would have actually just been better off if they didn't continue the show at all, because now this just brings in tons of room for backlash. You know, people get to shit on it. Like, it's like a reminder that you took, away Krystal and Saagar from the Hills Rising, and so people are going to be pissed for a long time, if not ever, especially because the new Hills Rising is straight fucking garbage. It's trash. But so as you can see, they were consistently gaining here, 10K every, 3-4 days. And then all of a sudden on a Friday, they lose 10,000. Then check this out. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they lose 10,000 every day. And on Wednesday, they lost 20K. And then on Monday, in 2 days, they lose another 10K. And 2 days later on Wednesday, they've lost another 10K. Then about what is that, half a week later, on Monday, they lose another 10. Then 2 days later, they lose another 10. So the current projections are a yearly estimate of minus 960,000. That's obviously not going to happen because that's just the way their estimate works. But this trend isn't going to hold as hard as it does. I still think they'll probably be net negative for a while. But I do think that they're not looking to lose all their subscribers. Is not going to happen. But I do think that they, looking from their perspective, they made a pretty major mistake. I don't even know if I saw them losing this many subscribers. I saw them coming down to 1.23, but the truth is they're probably going to go even below 1.2. I do see them definitely going below 1.2 million. Will they get to 1.5, 1.15 million? I don't know. I'm not sure. That's a bit extreme of a prediction, to be quite frank with you. But I definitely see them going below 1.2. You can see a pretty consistent rate of a loss of 10,000, and I simply don't see that stopping right now, especially since we saw two 10,000 losses in a span of 2 days. So, there's a 1 day gap between these 2 days where 10,000 was lost. So, they tanked hard. They're tanking really hard. I think it was a really stupid decision on their part to let them go. I don't know what they were thinking, but they're really out of touch. I think the Hill is owned by Trump's friend. It's a corporate entity. It's a corporate news outlet with a progressive YouTube news show, you know what I mean? So even though, Saagar's on there and he's a crypto fascist, you know what I mean. So that's kind of how that went down. But it's pretty interesting to see. Let me know your thoughts on this down below.